Hey guys, I'm Jake Palat, and with me here is something that I'm really excited about bringing out. It's been a long work in progress, a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on, and I can finally present to you the 2026 Ronix Supreme setup. So for 2026, we really went back to the drawing board. Not only on the board, but on the boots, and really tried to take a thoughtful approach to, if we're gonna update something, what needs to be updated about it, not just make it look different and it'll be good. So first, let's dive into the boots. These were the longest part of this update process. A ton of prototyping went into these new boots, and when I say a ton, I've been doing R&D stuff for Ronix for more than 10 years, and I've never seen so many prototype boots as it took to get to where we landed on the 2026 Supreme boot. So as you can see, it looks different from most boots, right? We got something going on down here, got a lace up top, got color hits, and some flaps. So what and why did we do these updates? We knew we wanted to incorporate some of the features that we loved about the previous models, but give some much needed updates to have easier use, better longevity with boots, and that full wraparound feel that Ronix boots are known for as you tighten the enclosures. After many rounds of testing, we landed on these flaps that connect to BOA laces on the medial side of the boot. So as you tighten your BOA, these flaps really pull from the bottom of the boot and fully wrap around your foot, giving you that foot hug, awesome locked in feel, as well as easy release, just popping that BOA out, and easy micro adjustments on the fly with the BOA. On the top, in the past we've had a super strap, which is one connection point. For this year, we went back to a traditional lace with one exception of the traditional lace. We actually ran this top lace all the way down to your ankle pocket so that you still have access to the feet belt, which is a major part of why Ronix boots feel the way they do, because as you tighten them, it sucks your heel back into the pocket of the boot, giving you that secure connection, making it feel like you're one with the board. These new boots truly give you a secure, comfortable, wraparound feel with the Intuition heat moldable liner. This is a full redesign. It's not an updated Supreme boot. This is ground up uniqueness and progression in Ronix footwear, and I couldn't be more stoked about where it landed technically, where it landed feeling-wise, and also where it landed graphically. I personally think they look pretty cool and way different from anything else on the market. Now, let's dive into the new Supreme board. So we went back to redesign the shape. My main goal is increasing predictability. Predictability is the difference between thinking about how you're approaching the wake, how you're hitting the wake, what's going on with the board underneath your foot, and not. And ideally, when you're wakeboarding, you don't want to be thinking about how you steer the board and how you move the board underneath you. You just want to be able to ride, not even think about what's going on beneath your feet. So to do that, we address three major areas. Number one, where you turn into the wake. Number two, your takeoff of the wake. And number three, the landing. Those are the three pivotal points in wakeboarding that make the biggest difference in how you're gonna ride. So my thought process is, if you can take away the thinking from those parts of your ride, you're gonna ride better. So our first change that we made with the Supreme shape was we pulled the corners on the tip and tail in slightly, just to make it respond a little quicker and make it easier to turn, point at the wake as you're setting an edge. The next thing we did was adjusted the rocker line. So we still have our hybrid rocker line with 3-stage edges and a continuous belly. However, we pulled the kick points in a little bit, making a little bit less of a difference between our 3-stage and our continuous rocker. This does a couple things. Number one, it ensures that as you set the board onto edge, you're not getting a crazy dip and you're not fighting the board to turn it onto edge. This creates a nice balance so that as you roll the board onto edge, it rolls just enough to let you set a predictable edge and carry a ton of speed into the wake. And then when you hit the wake, this rocker line change made the pop feel more centered, more predictable every time, with less of a difference between when you hit the wake hard and when you hit the wake mellow. So that predictability helps a ton, knowing that you're gonna get the same pop out of the board every time. Finally, we added a slight channel in the tip and tail. What this is doing is directing water flow through the tail of the board, giving you a little bit of extra speed, creating an effortless ride into the wake, and a little bit of extra stick on landings. The goal of that extra stick on landings is to keep you from sliding out so much on landings if you're trying a new trick, bringing something new around, Hopefully this gives you just a little bit more bite to keep the board underneath you without feeling too locked in and aggressive with the board shape. So those are the major areas of shape changes that we address with the Supreme board. And as I said before, the main goal is predictability, making you think less about riding the board and more about the tricks you're trying to do. And I can honestly tell you, I've never felt more comfortable on a board than I have on this 2026 Supreme shape. Now, let's get to the fun part. This graphic is different. It's a big departure from anything we've done with Supreme, but I'm over the moon excited about it. It's fun, it's colorful, it looks different on the boat, on the shelf, on the water, but it also has a lot of meaning behind it. I'll dive into it a little bit and you can dive in as much as you want to. If you don't care, it's a fun graphic. If you do care, there are a ton of Easter eggs that really dive into some meaningful wake history, some personal stuff for me. One of the main focal points of this graphic is 7 wake movies that were influential to me growing up as a rider, as well as the pointless incomplete loading screen on the TV. There are 7 movies on here because this is the 7th edition of the Supreme board, which is kind of crazy. Year 7 of the Supreme, and it's still evolving, getting more interesting, more user-friendly every year. But besides the point, 7 movies for the 7th Supreme. And you might be wondering, why is there a guy in a chicken suit? Well, if you haven't seen 12 Honkies, the top movie on this list, highly recommend you give it a watch, and you might get some context and some cool wake history and an understanding of why there's a guy in a chicken suit on this board. Aside from that, the blue is awesome. Maybe we have scratch and sniff down here, maybe we don't. You might have to just check that out for yourself. We've got a couple meaningful hits on the sidewall, some phrases that are maybe motivational. And then the bottom is super clean, super unique. Overall, it looks different. It's a big departure from anything we've done, and I couldn't be more excited about it. This thing turned out rad. I highly recommend you get to a shop and check it out, or just trust me, take my word for it. I wholeheartedly believe it's the best it's ever been, both graphically and shape-wise, as well as the boots. The Supreme setup for 26 is rad. So I hope you guys like it as much as I do. I think that's enough tech talk. Thank you for watching that part of this video. Now let's get into the really fun part and hit the water.